always said his Oshiba Hagane looks most suspicious.
Ooh, we are of one mind.
Well, to be completely frank, merely running along with your opinion, your intuition is one thing we can trust. Seemingly taken off guard by my comment, she ran her hand through her hair in a slightly flustered fashion.
Is that so? Well, don't be too hard on me if I got it wrong, okay?
Don't worry, we'll just have you dressed like Miley Cyrus to school if you let us down.
I had trouble visualizing a scenario in which such a punishment would prove judicious.
No way, I'm the modest type, you know. I think our lewdness specialist Lilith would find that to be right up her alley.
I see you're looking for a fight, wench.
Help me, Setsuna, Lilith's picking on me!
She found a way behind my back, proceeded to cling on my dorsum.
Alright, Setsuna, as your supervisor, I hereby order you to turn that bally-eyed little goblin clinging to your back over to me. Pronto.
I think goblin sounds a bit odd in this situation. I believe godliness would be a more fitting word. Not that it mattered.
Goblins don't exist. I'd recommend using Sandhag myself.
Raziel seemed to have taken professional interest in our conversation.
I don't think either of these fit a young maiden like myself. At least call me a cat girl or something. Yeah, let's go with Catwoman.
Don't underestimate Catwoman. It got a Raspberry Award, you know.
Not particularly sure how that was related.
You want to be more like a cat? Try this.
Raziel put out a cat ear headband from somewhere. Why'd she get things like these?
You have my thanks. Right, does it look good on me, Yao?
Sorami affixed the cat ear headband to her head. She then proceeded to spin around once to show off her catness, with feline ears sprouting from her scalp. She looked very adorable indeed. Looks great.
Thanks.
What were we talking about again?
It was my cue to rescue this conversation from endless digressions. For starters, I think we should investigate Oshiba Hagane.
Right. I could swear there was also something else we...
No, I'm entirely positive certain that this is the only matter we touch upon today. In that case, I assume the plan is to insinuate ourselves into his surroundings by posing as classmates. My conversations had a tendency to get sidetracked, all the way to the moon if I didn't keep a close eye on both Lilith and Sorami. It didn't help with that Raziel, too, usually either kept silent or went along with them. The responsibility of keeping things in order is entirely on me.
Yeah, just keep in mind that you're just acquaintances that barely know the names and faces of each other when you approach him.
What exactly are we supposed to find out about him?
Yeah, I'd say you did a great job if you managed to discover something like a concept he holds important.
Something related to his existence? Lilith gave me a nod. Raison d'etre, a concept said to be of crucial importance to those fighting in Tokyo Babel.
Yep. If we can tell his convictions, it'll be much easier to predict the kind of powers he might draw from them.
With that, Lilith snapped her fingers and a little flame appeared in her palm. Having successfully caught her attention, she proceeded to exit the room, motioning us to follow.
Is he fond of burning everything around himself to a miserable crisp? Or would he rather sink everything to the depths of the ocean? Maybe he'd rather cause a storm to blow everything away. Or maybe his interests lie in smacking things with his iron fists. Or maybe something else entirely. For in this world, he has the power to bend reality according to his convictions, his rules.
Wouldn't that be pretty hard to pry out of someone?
No, it shouldn't. I'd appreciate it if you could do it in a timely fashion. I'm hoping to liberate the second stratum of Babel within a week.
Why?
Because the whole area gets tainted worse and worse every day a master spends in command over there. If we can take care of the second stratum in a week, we're gonna get at least a month of peace for ourselves.
I heard that in the past you could travel all the way up to the third stratum without anyone getting in your way. Eventually, however, it was taken over by a master. Soon enough, the second stratum followed in the fall. Famous angels and demons would sometimes choose a human or two to embark on expeditions to retake the lowest stratums. At the very moment they come back, a new master would appear and take them over again. It's hardly surprising. It's none other than a pilgrim himself who end up succumbing to the lure of the stratum's throne.
Then why do you go on a pilgrimage at all?
If you let them run wild, they'll invade Pandora eventually. Abandoning the front and hiding in the back doesn't exactly bode well in the long term.
Lilith suddenly stopped.
Anyway, that's the situation. Sorami, Setsuna, I leave everything to you guys.
Lilith opened the doors to a nearby classroom, and, as if implying her job was done, she crossed the threshold along with Raziel. Sorami and I were left standing in the corridor by ourselves.
Alrighty, let's do our best as classmates, Setsuna.
I patted my shoulder with a beaming smile on her face. Her familiarity made it seem like we were old friends, counting years since the start of our relationship. It was a peculiar sensation, though not unpleasant in any definition of the word. I used something along the lines of years of friendship just now, but that was just a figure of speech. I never had any friends, not a single one since the day I was born.
Something wrong? Sorry, was I acting too familiar out of the blue?
No, I was thinking about something else. In any case, I trust we'll make great friends, Sorami. My words seemed to instantly dispel the cloud that had momentarily overtaken her face.
Yeah. Then let's, for starters,
Pieman. Both turned around in response to that nonchalant voice. A slender young man in schoolboy's uniform stood before us. His lustrous black hair fell on his forehead with grace that would put a shampoo model to shame. Look very familiar.
Sorry for blocking the door. What?
It wasn't someone we should have been having small talk with. In fact, his appearance alone made Sorami cry out in a peculiar, girl-like contralto.
I like to pass. Excuse me.
With that, the schoolboy, Oshiba Hagane, slipped past us and proceeded into the classroom. Exchanging wary glances, Sorami and I followed him to our seats that surround his in the flanking formation.
Huh. Were you two always sitting there?
Yeah, probably. At least that was what Lilith told me.
Now that you mention it, I guess you were.
He seemed nonchalant even when wrestling with this phenomenon. Meanwhile, his right hand skillfully spun a pencil in his fingers.
Hey, your name is Oshiba Hagane, right?
Yes, it is. Is there something you need from me?
Do you know my name?
With a sheepish smile on his lips, Oshiba Hagane confidently parted his lips.
Nope.
Kugutsu Sorami. It's become good friends being in the same class and all.
No thanks.
Reply was so frank, its poignancy made Sorami bang her head on the table. Hopefully she didn't hurt herself.
I failed to even pass a friendism in this class.
I'm just not interested.
One could have been more frank. What do you mean? You're not interested in friends? Intrude into the conversation.
Who were you again?
I'm Tendo Setsuno. Nice to meet you. I didn't stick my hand out to him. I had a feeling that he would ignore it anyway. Seemed I was right.
Nice to meet you. You are correct. I'm not interested in reality in general.
Not interested in reality? Exchanged glances with Sorami, with a troubled expression on her face. She reconsidered the boy.
Is this that anime thing?
No, that's not what I meant, alright? Not a freak.
Everyone's gazes started to Oshiba as his loud cry reverberated across the room. Embarrassed, he took some notes out of his bag, proceeded to line them on his desk, acting as if nothing had happened. And as the gallery finally lost interest, he breathed a deep sigh of relief.
That was really embarrassing.
So sorry. I shouldn't have started asking weird questions.
It's alright. I'm the one who started streaming out of nowhere. But it's not an anime thing, alright? It has nothing to do with anime, alright?
He seemed awfully desperate to deny that. Then, what are you interested in that is not part of reality?
You won't laugh?
Unless it is a joke, I would not.
I won't laugh either, I swear.
A faint breath of relief softened the boy's features. He looked us straight in the eyes.
I'm only interested in the future.
His lips curled into a carefree smile as he declared those words. Break time. Sorami and I were discussing what had transpired.
Future. Huh.
Only being interested in the future. A sentiment I can most certainly understand. I want to become like this. I want to become like that. All people to put their expectations on the future. The young, most of all. Satisfied with the hardships of the present, we dream the future. Our minds prefer the state of imagined paradise to the cold harshness of reality.
I'm not so sure.
Sorami cocked her head to the side.
Oshiba spelled out future, not dreams or anything of the like, right? That part's bugging me a bit.
Is there a difference between dreams and the future in this case?
No, I think. But what if he actually used the word literally?
What does future mean in that case? Future does not wishful, but
I haven't the foggiest idea.
me neither. I think it would be best if we asked him directly. A bell, signaling the start of the period, reverberated across the school building. Oshiba Hagane's issue had to wait until the end of class.
You want to know about the future?
We approached him as soon as the break started, but he parroted our question back at us with a confused expression. Yes, I had trouble comprehending the concept of future you were talking about. It got me curious.
Oh, I see.
He scratched his left cheek with the tip of his finger.
This is kind of heartwarming. You guys were the first to ever listen to it seriously.
Really?
Yes. but it will probably take me some time to explain. I think it would be better if we waited until the lunch break at least.
We agreed without hesitation. After all, hearing his story was out precisely what we came here for. After class, we took Oshiba Hagane to the night duty room that Lilith took over as our base of operations. We thought he would appreciate some privacy given the nature of the upcoming conversation.
Are you sure we can be here?
Oh, it's totally alright. Don't worry. This room's only ever used by one old lady anyway.
James, you played Belial today.
What's up, Lilith? Practicing for a gunning contest?
I just had this awful feeling that someone was talking behind my back somewhere.
Well, you're a demon, you know.
That's not how it was. It felt a lot more deprecating, humiliating, even. Had a witless bastard had the gall to say such words to my face, I'd have given him a right hook and broken his arm for good measure.
Huh?
I decided to act as if I hadn't heard Sorami's blood-chilling remark. Oshiba Hagane, meanwhile, snuck out a small box lunch from his bag. It appeared though he has made it himself, but why was he acting as if he was embarrassed about it? Cooking was a very respectable skill as far as I was concerned.
Huh? What about you two?
I totally forgot.
With that, Sorami promptly stood up, proceeded to rummage through the night duty room.
You sure it's alright?
Don't worry. The old lady's living here as a buddy.
Is it just my imagination that the buddy part had a different inflection from the rest of her sentence?
What? This again?
I don't know why. Like, it's totally beyond my knowledge. But I suddenly started feeling this, like, exterminating all of mankind. Humankind.
Camael, you around? I think our Lilith finally went off the rocker.
That's a pity. I shall execute her right away. We can dissect her brain later.
Humans, you all deserve to die! No, wait. It's that little wench alone who deserves to die. Well, and Setsuna too, for good measure. Don't know why, though.
The timeless struggles of youth.
Thought it prudent to immobilize Sorami the next time she attempted to come at Lilith's age. I wasn't sure why, but I felt like it was my duty to the world to do so.
Here, I made some rice balls.
Sorami left 3 rice balls on the table before me. She must have turned her rice leftovers to lunch in a blink of an eye. Apparently, she found herself right at home in our kitchen. Thank you.
Well then, let's dig in.
Yeah.
Oshiba Hagane removed the lid from his box lunch. Sorami stole a glance at what was inside and cried out in astonishment.
What an awe-inspiring lunch!
Knew next to nothing about boxed lunches, or food in general, but the assortment in Oshiba Hagane's box was indeed impressive. Delicious looking chicken teriyaki, carefully arranged slices of cucumber, carrot, and omelets, brown sausages, and mushrooms. Part of it was likely leftovers of a chikuzuni he had for yesterday's dinner.
Oh, you can have some if you like.
Really? I'll take some teriyaki then.
Following her example, I too decided to request something. It would likely give him a bad impression if I didn't show interest in his cuisine at this point. It wasn't like I was actually curious about the taste, not in the slightest. try some of your chikuzini?
Sure. Help yourself.
Give me another friendly smile. That, as my cue, I got my chopsticks to the lotus root, picked it up, and chewed on it. Salty sweet taste aesthetic across my tongue as it bit through the pleasantly crunchy flesh of the vegetable. It's indeed quite tasty.
How was it?
Very good.
You're pretty good, Oshiba.
Thank you. It might be a bit strange for me to say this myself, having prepared the meal and all, but I have a small stomach, so you can help yourself to as much as you want. I couldn't finish this alone anyway.
What a great guy. Let's write rice ball as a token of my gratitude.
Ah, I already have my own rice ball, so no thanks.
Oshiba Hagane didn't hesitate to turn her down for a second.
Stone cold, huh? Well, I guess I'll just help myself to your things then.
Did you manufacture all this yourself?
Yeah,
You must have practiced for years to do this.
practice? Not at all. Anyone can make this if they had a good manual and used the correct ingredients.
Is that so?
Huh?
Sorami glared at Oshiba Hagane with a dumbfounded expression.
I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? None of the dishes in this box lunch are inexplicable. Everything from how to slice the ingredients to how to brown them can be found in books.
Oshiba Hagane's face was a mask of nonchalance.
An established fact. You don't need past experience to comprehend it.
Feel my chest oddly rile up to his words. Past experience was pointless? Wasn't that an extremely dangerous thought?
You're wrong. Don't be angry, Oshiba, but I think you were wrong. I mean, there was a past before that manual was written, right?
It doesn't matter. All I need is the manual itself.
Well, you might have only needed it, but its author had to have past experience to write everything down, don't you think?
Maybe. But that doesn't matter. The past of others hold very little meaning. At least to me.
Oshiba Hagane sort of glanced at us.
Are you saying you actually care about the past details of other people?
I'm not sure. In contrast to my half-baked answer, Sorami almost lashed out at him.
Of course! I mean, you could have never made that box lunch if not for other people's past, could you?
Probably not.
In that case, you should respect the legacy of your forefathers.
Oshiba Hagane shook his head in silence.
That's precisely how we're different. I don't think the past is worth my respect. It's just a tiny speck in all the information prevalent in this world. I rather don't understand you guys. Why do you care about the past of others so much? We are destined to live in the future. As such, the past has no place there.
He declared with unwavering conviction. Is this related to your mindset of only being interested in the future?
Yes, I only care about living in the future.
Sorami considered the floor in silence. It was then that I had an epiphany. He was only interested in the future, but not dreaming about it. This entire vague future imagined thinking about what you want to be. His was merely a matter of fact time of 1 second, 1 day, 1 year, even 100 years after present. Oshiba Hagane only cared about living in it. There's obviously something wrong with this idea. People couldn't live solely in the future. You have to constantly face the hurdles of the present to entertain the idea of reaching the point beyond. However, Oshiba Hagane, nonetheless, decided to live only in the future, And it's more of an illusion than a simple whim in this situation. This feature itself is raison d'etre. I have one question.
Go ahead.
What dreams do you have in the future? I didn't hesitate for a second.
To become a correct being.
Correct being?
My dream is to live correctly, in a correct world according to the correct time as a correct being.
Since it was neither overly mind-blowing nor did it particularly make much sense, it was the vague, obscure thing that one couldn't quite put your finger on. After a short pause, Oshiba Hagane suddenly looked up at us and opened his mouth with a hint of proudness about himself.
Well, I didn't expect you to understand.
I admit I don't understand what you're trying to say in any way.
Well, I thought so.
But I'll try my best to think about it.
Oshiba Hagane's chopsticks stopped moving.
Think about what?
I'll think about what you've said. I can't promise I'll understand or comprehend it, but I promise I'll think long and hard about it.
For the first time, a hint of genuine emotion colored Oshiba Hagane's features. He uttered words through his teeth, as if with contempt.
Like you could ever.
After lunch, we all returned to the classroom in silence. Spent the remainder of the school day thinking. Wait, I think this is... Wait, no, never mind. About Oshiba Hagane, about Kugutsu Sorami. To live in the future. I couldn't say what's wrong exactly, but this philosophy was too one-sided. Kind of reminded me of how people, after falling in love, tended to lose all care for the world, save for the target of their affection. Incomprehensible. It's the only conclusion I could come up with in the end. Sorami's mind didn't seem to be in the real world either. She was probably trying to keep the promise you made to Oshiba Hagane earlier today. I kept thinking. If I couldn't understand it, couldn't comprehend it, I still tried to swallow it. It was likely a vain effort. Indeed, there were people in the world that were impossible to see eye to eye with. And Oshiba Hagane was likely one of them. There's no way a being that only lived in the future could communicate with those shackles in the past. This was my conclusion. And so, I refused to dwell on any longer in the matter. Sorami, however, continued to ponder. Kugutsu Sorami. Kugutsu Sorami! Oh, our current teacher Belial tapped Sorami on the shoulder, which seemed to finally bring her back to her world.
Huh? Huh? Did you call me?
James.
I sure did. And not once either. So which do you think is the correct answer?
Answer. Her eyes wide open, shot a few careful glances around her, and then, with a pale face, finally answered.
X is equal to 4.
Amazing. I didn't know people could get that far off the mark.
We were in an English class.
I am sorry, I wasn't listening. I wasn't sleeping either. I was just lost deep in I was just lost deep in melancholic thoughts.
I'm glad you're honest, at least.
Belial, for starters, delivered a fist of love to the top of Sorami's head.
Ugh. The countless sparkling stars dancing around me are singing the melody of dull pain.
She had a peculiar way of expressing herself sometimes. So the class ended. It's finally time to head home.
See you two tomorrow.
Oshiba, Hagane, viewing us as if nothing had happened, disappeared into the corridor.
I wonder if that future thing makes him desensitized to past quarrels too.
It made sense, the past didn't matter to him because he only lived in the future.
Don't you think he's totally wrong?
I would not know. Oshiba Hagane was wrong, but unable to pinpoint what was ultimately wrong about this theory, I had already given up on comprehending this issue.
I don't think that's nice. You two can still speak to each other, right? Surely you can understand each other speaking the same language and all, even people who don't sometimes get along.
I do not think language is such a huge issue here. People fundamentally think the same way, regardless how far apart they live. At least that was how it used to be in my world. But there was no helping once the thoughts hopelessly diverge. You can only truly solve such a situation by splitting up and ignoring each other. People perfectly understanding each other was a fantasy of the hopelessly naive. Sorami didn't seem too thrilled with my conclusion.
I admit you're probably correct. But don't you think it's sad to think this way?
Of course I do. It sounds to me just the same. Think. Give me a short but seemingly believe I see.
How about we head back to our place?
We proceed to stroll towards the night duty room. Once we reached our destination, we found a tracksuit wearing demon and angel playing video games.
I repeat, cough up your oil, or the 50 Cossack cavalrymen of our Mother Russia shall lay waste to your feeble nation.
Wait, Raziel, but I won't be able to make tanks to invade Russia without it.
It's your own fault for getting involved with nuclear weapons and plotting with other nations to hinder our motherland. I seriously cannot believe you are playing Gandhi of all people.
I shouldn't have let my guard down just because you had a late start.
My, a pioneer in a place like this. I shall crush him like an ant.
Yeah! Run! You have yet to build that bridgehead up for Russian invasion, minion! Run!
So that's what they were doing while we were working our butts off at school.
Oh, welcome back. How was it?
We had a chance to talk with Oshiba Hagane, but forget about that for now. What the hell are you two doing here?
Just playing some Civilization Universalis 4.
Oh, developers actually advised their customers not to play on a land with people who can actually punch, because that game usually escalates to real-life casualties. Or so I heard.
Who cares about that? I'm more curious about your audacity to play games while forcing all the work on us!
Sorami.
I think I got a little bit excited. Sorry, Raziel.
You can take Isabella. That is currently played by CPU if you want. Though it kind of went to Buddhist extremist way, and it's invading all the countries of different faith at the moment.
You kidding me? Don't you think it's a bit too much for a new player? I'd rather recommend taking Lincoln. You can make as many units as you want with him, as he has a slavery perk to turn all of the lowlives in your country to something useful.
Yeah, I have no idea what you two are talking about.
Me neither.
Well, whatever. Let's have a break from the game and discuss what you guys found out.
Lilith promptly pulled the plug of the console, but Raziel was fast in breaking the news that she couldn't cheat that way since the game autosaved each turn.
So, how was that Oshiba Hagane guy?
Well, all I can say is that I didn't get him.
That's a bit too vague.
I think it would be better if I explained everything from the start in detail. I relayed our conversation with them to Lilith with as little personal bias as possible.
A future boy, huh?
I wonder if he's a detective by now.
I can tell you're screwing around even without contact.
I get the feeling Sorami is about to get disillusioned by demons and angels, so I propose we try thinking seriously for a change.
I too would appreciate that very much.
To sum it up, he's looking for his raison d'etre in the future, right? As he's only interested in it and all.
I've seen countless people turning their dreams into their raison d'etre, but
This guy feels kinda different. Anyway, I have a question for Sorami.
Yeah? What is it?
Oshiba Hagane is only interested in the future and hates the past, no?
Sorami locked her arms on her chest, proceeded to ponder.
I wonder. It did kind of feel that way, but
Contempt. Arthur returned to me. It's more akin to him believing the past was not worth caring about. A distinct feeling that he was looking down on people like us who felt indebted to their forefathers.
yeah. Something like that.
Looking down on the people of the past, he tries to live with only the future in mind.
does he have unreasonable expectations of the future? The dreamer type.
The future he sees be a dream, a correct being living according to a correct time in a correct world? That's not even feasible, for humans at least.
What do you mean?
There is no correct world. Just like even saints harbor temptations deep within their hearts, so do worlds need their fair share of angels and demons.
Justice cannot exist without evil. The world is always gray, and so are humans. Some might come very close to pure white or black, but can never become completely one or the other.
You wouldn't know what white is without black to give it contrast. With no aggression in their hearts, humans would become apathetic beasts with no will to move forward.
And in a world of pure black, they wouldn't need intelligence anymore. They just devour each other on their mutual path to destruction.
Doesn't that contradict the Bible or something? Not that I actually read it.
The Bible is a tool to lead the gray world as close to white as possible. Of course, it doesn't advertise the truth, as if it did, people would just grow content with remaining in the black.
Well, to sum it up, a perfectly correct world cannot possibly exist. From what I've heard, it seems that Oshiba either doesn't understand or refuses to admit that. Either way, we learned one thing at least.
Learned what?
That he's most likely gonna use future-related attacks on you in a fight.
It's not too much of a stretch to assume, given his raison d'etre was doubtlessly grounded in the future. What are you thinking about, exactly?
Well, predicting the future comes to mind first. Even sensing a few seconds ahead could change the outcome of battle.
Could counter all my attacks quite easily if we could do that.
What about defining the future by launching an attack that cannot be dodged?
Well, what do you mean?
Reversing casualty, basically, rewriting the physical laws. He might be able to define the future of an attack, hitting the target before launching it. You couldn't dodge it because the future would already be decided.
There is nothing you can do against that.
Not necessarily. These future-related powers are usually still quite heavily affected by the flow of time. For example, if he could predict the future, it would probably be nothing more than 3 minutes or so.
And it's unlikely he could launch future-defining attacks one after the other, as they'd require a huge amount of fiddling with reality.
It should have been easy to define the future. At the first eliminate all other possible outcomes and just reality so the one you wish for would end up as the only one possible somehow.
I'd imagine one couldn't calculate anything for a while as a side effect from bending reality that much. Well, one attack every few minutes should be the best he could do.
Either way, it's not an ability to be taken lightly. What if it's guardian angel? Or is it a demon? Two exchange glances. At the moment of silence, Lilith finally looked back at me, somewhat awkwardly.
Yeah, we tried looking into it. We tried, but...
We couldn't find any. It appears Oshiba Hagane has not brought any angels or demons with himself to the pilgrimage.
Is there any past precedents for this?
No, not a single one. And pilgrimages are all recorded, so normally we should be able to find out right away. But...
Guardian angels, or demons that overlook men on their pilgrimage, all left their names in the annals of history. Most of their powers have already been unveiled countless times throughout the eras. Those that were good with fire, those that were good with water, could predict the nature of most of their raison d'etres just from such basic information. Which made it easy to come up with various countermeasures to the possible attacks, and that all their countermeasures were guaranteed to be effective, but that was another story.
it's weird, I tell you. The guy's literally unknown. We don't even know which world he comes from.
Lilith proceeded to let out a frustrated sigh. Everyone in Pandora, including Sorami and myself, were taken here from a different world. Sorami seemed to have amnesia, but judging from her knowledge, one could predict she came from one of the Master's worlds. Her common sense was just like, or rather, even more well-adjusted than ours. She was a perfectly normal girl. By the way, there's something I would like to know. We toppled Oshiba Hagane in the second stratum.
Yeah?
What would happen to Oshiba Hagane in Pandora? Did he die? Vanish? Pretend he wasn't here from the start? Lilith gave me a disinterested glance.
Nothing. It's just... he's like a... Restelgeist?
I guess that's right.
Restelgeist now, right? He can think. You can communicate with him. But he won't ever advance in time.
Advance in time?
The Oshiba Hagane you met today is like a copy of a computer program. He's completely like the Oshiba Hagane just before he went MIA on his pilgrimage, and he thinks exactly the same, but he won't advance in time. He won't grow up. He's just a record. In video game lingo, he's kind of like a save file of the original.
Even if loaded, he spent eternity within the peaceful walls of this academy. Would never advance. Would never grow up.
What about me? Do I have to save myself too before starting this pilgrimage thing?
You? Well, you can choose whichever option you want. Either leave the proof of your existence behind in here, or let it disappear forever.
We only record the students before their pilgrimage because there are some angels that just can't help wanting to do it. But if we don't want it, you don't have to go along with them.
I'll think about it.
There's probably an exception to the common sense of this rule. Might be because of a few occurrences in my past, but I could not see the point of preserving myself like that. For I was consumable. I didn't mind vanishing without trace after being used up. Probably.
Either way, you sure learned a lot just from a single conversation. Good job, Sorami.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Let's have you two work on separate themes from tomorrow. Sorami, you try approaching Oshiba Hagane one more time. If you think the situation calls it, we can erase his memories off today.
It's alright. I'd feel bad for him if I made you do something like that anyway.
Sorami gave Lilith an affectionate smile. I doubted Oshiba Hagane would have cared much about forgetting the past, though.
And we'll have you do some battle training, Setsuna. I'm sure Astaroth will lend us one or two magic items that can bend the future or something.
Whether we're predicting the future or defining it, wouldn't hurt to come up with a good countermeasure for either. We're basing it all on conjecture at best, but I'd say it was pretty significant, at least begins considering countermeasures to the whole thing. Though, it'd be nothing sort of comedy if we totally missed the mark. Acknowledged.
Any other questions?
Exchanged glances with Sorami. We shook our heads in unison.
Then that's gonna be all for today. You can enjoy your free time until evening.
With that, I was left with nothing to do. I told me to enjoy my free time, but I didn't have anything to do in particular.
Well, Lilith, let's continue the game.
Whenever I stop a game in the middle, I don't feel like continuing. How about we play another match from the start?
I don't mind, but I'll go all out this time.
You're not gonna use that again?
Hundreds of my spies shall lead our empire to utter destruction from within. Yeah.
Do your worst!
Lilith and Raziel seemed to return back to the game, while I wasn't much interested in it. Couldn't figure out what to do until dinner. Sitting in place doing nothing was the best I could come up with in the end.
What to do?
Something wrong?
I was just thinking about dinner. Now would be a good time to go shopping for ingredients, that's all.
Oh, I see.
When I thought about it, I realized I had no idea where they sell them here.
I wonder how to deal with the distribution of goods in this place. Might as well have conjured them from magical energy here. I murmured to myself, absent-mindedly looking at the two play the game.
Lilith, can you give me a minute?
Oh yeah, my peerless managing of finances shall make your rat snout spies tremble in terror. You said something?
Yeah. I'd like to buy some ingredients for dinner. Whither shall I go find them?
Lilith proceeded to groan and moan.
I think it's best if you just ask Camael. It's kinda complicated.
Complicated? What was so complicated about buying groceries?
Allow me to bestow my thanks upon you. Your secret technology shall help my country prosper.
No! The blood, sweat, and tears of my poor citizens!
You did well, Ishikawa Goen. I shall reward you with as much gold as you can carry. It's your turn next, Matahari. Plunge the English Empire to the depths of terror.
Raziel's passionate narration certainly painted what is a real image.
Mr. Camael? But isn't he, like, an important guy or something?
Definitely one of the most influential people in Pandora right now. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, and Sandalphon. With them not around, it made Camael the leader of the Angels of Destruction, Commandant of the Light Side in Pandora right now. As an incarnation of the might of God, he used to guard the gates of heaven together with 12,000 of his subordinates. He probably escaped a divine calamity in time because he was close to the exit when it suddenly occurred.
Ahem. Mr. Camael? Are you inside?
Bro.
There's nothing there.
It's frozen.
The stream is frozen.
Once again.
Is this Kugutsu Sorami? It's open. Come in.
Excuse me then.
The gaze of the many students that sat at the table could concentrate on us. Startled by the sudden occurrence, Sorami took a step backwards. And hurt her head against my chest. A faint aroma of flowers caressed through my nostrils. Sorami turned her head back, looked me straight in the eyes. Her cheeks suddenly flushed, and she jumped away from me as if from fire.
Sorry.
Do not worry about it. Playing with her fingers, she stole one glance at my face, then another. She seemed oddly disappointed. What on earth could have caused that?
Take my eyes off of you humans for a second and you start performing rom-com routines. I'll have you know that illicit sexual relationships are a mortal sin.
What are you talking about?
Oh, so you didn't come here to show off your success at copulation? Well, if you have serious business, then come inside already.
In response, the other students, probably his angel subordinates, left the room.
Your coming gave us the opportunity to finally end our week. You have my thanks.
Camael left 2 streaming steam cups for us on the table. I took a sip. What do you mean?
I mean, that meeting was pointless. Everyone was just bickering about what to do with no real solution in mind. I thought it would go on forever.
Camael sank into his seat, let a heavy sigh before filling his mouth with tea.
Are we in such a critical situation?
Tokyo Babel is in a perpetual critical situation, girl. We're in the middle of Armageddon 24/7 here.
Do angels and demons long for their lost homes like humans do?
Sure we do. Both angels and demons have depended on their homelands for centuries. Most of us are much more attached to them than humans ever were to yours.
It was a particularly unexpected answer. After all, they spent over 2,000 years in their reclusive abode, a few times they descended to Earth, notwithstanding.
So most angels and demons here are anxious, homesick, quite pitiful if you ask me. Though I admit even I find it hard to relax in this place.
What about Lilith and Raziel?
rare exceptions to the rule. Raziel spent centuries wandering parallel worlds, and so did Lilith.
I see. Having a home is important, I guess.
Her mind seemed to wander off. She lost her homeland along with her memories. Hopefully, she would remember it soon.
Tell me about it. So, what did you two come here for?
We do not know where we should go to buy things.
Buy things? You mean like indulgences? God doesn't care much about them. Forget it.
Sorami couldn't contain her laughter. She was dispelled by Camael's dead serious stern look. That is not what I meant. I was talking about food. Ingredients, groceries.
Oh.
Camael broke her gazes to consider the wall, slightly flushed.
We heard it was complicated or something.
It indeed is a bit complicated, but why didn't you ask Lilith about it? She's doing it all the time.
Oh, yay! Internet's in the bag. I finally caught up.
So you finally decide to enter the spaceship development race, I see. I suppose I shall destroy the aluminum mining complex as a hearty rival gesture.
Please don't do it! Damn, where are my workers?
I guess I'll destroy the bridge connected to your mining facility as well, for good measure. I surmise that shall put you a couple of turns behind again.
You devil incarnate!
Lilith forced the words through her gritted teeth, burning in frustration, but Raziel only snickered in response to her friend's misfortune.
Can someone give her a mirror?
You tell them, Camael.
What are you doing here, Camael? Did you tell these two how to buy groceries yet?
Without a second hesitation, Camael wrapped his arms around Lilith's neck, proceeded to choke her, had no qualms about going straight for the cardioid artery.
Why don't you tell them? Comprende?
Yes! I comprende! Oh, it's a very good girl!
Good. Well, I came all this way already. Might as well see to it to the end.
Wait a second.
What is it, Raziel? You know I'd appreciate it if you stopped the game and...
Don't worry about it. It's over already.
The spaceship soared through the depths of space towards the digital representation of Alpha Centauri.
Huh? Raziel!
I hate to break it to you, but it appears the AI took this game from us. I guess I spent too much time screwing around with you.
I just got internet.
Well, it seems the other countries already had future technology by then.
Those words, Raziel pulled the plug of the console.
Great. I'm glad we finally reached a happy end. Let's go.
Taking Lilith by the collar, Camael proceeded towards the doors.
No! One more turn!
The game was already over, Lilith. Camael released Lilith from his iron grip as we reached heavy-looking doors at the end of the corridor.
Go ahead.
All right. First, we open these doors.
Loom.
It's a bit of a toughie, so you need to twist your wrist a bit and...
Squatting down on the floor, Lilith shuddered in pain.
What in heavens are you doing?
Camael looked over at Lilith with amused bewilderment.
Then, after collecting ourselves, we open the door. Here you go.
The doors opened. We promptly followed Lilith through them.
Whoa. What is this place?
There's a giant spear-shaped object in the middle of the room. Its walls glowed a faint blue. People called them walls, that is. I spotted contours rippling as if they were made of water. Curious, I reached out to touch them. Smelled a jelly-like creamy sensation.
I don't know if I should call this thing beautiful or creepy. Looks like something I would expect to see in a fantasy movie.
After that, we can transform into magic energies flowing all around us here, also known as aqua vitae.
The water of life.
And this thing in the middle here is a pure, concentrated ball of magic. It is not affected by any of the 4 basic elements, so we can shape it any way we want.
With that, Lilith stuck her hand into the thing and grasped a piece of it. The way it wobbled reminded me of jelly gun.
Melon.
And when she uttered those words, the aqua vitae in her hand shimmered in light and changed to a melon.
That's it.
Sorami regarded the melon with bafflement on her face for a while. Eventually, she carefully reached out her finger to poke it, then leaned forward in to smell it.
Amazing! Can you make anything with this?
You should be able to make most of what you can imagine.
What about animals?
You can't create animals, but you can make their hollow shapes. There is one other factor that's missing from this thing to instill an inanimate object with life.
Life, huh?
Go ahead and try it yourself.
Yeah. Here goes nothing.
Sorami carefully stuck both her hands into the wobbly wall and scooped some aqua vitae.
Wow. It's like jelly or maybe cream. Quite the weird sensation.
She seemed to be enjoying herself.
Imagine the ingredients necessary for tonight's dinner and call out their names.
I didn't know why, but looking at excited Sorami and smirking Lilith, I had my heart with a sort of bad premonition.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
Yeah.
Vane just seemed to feel the same way. Just took a step away from Sorami.
Right. Ingredients. Setsuna, what do you want to eat today?
Well, I'm fine with whatever you make, Sorami. We're not lacking ingredients, so go ahead and follow your own preference, aside from Diet Coke. Though I appreciate it if it was edible at least. As long as I found no strange matter on my plate, I'll be fine.
You. Apologies. Your loss. Okay, first let's meat.
What meat?
Ostrich.
Taking cue for Sorami's words, the aqua vitae shuddered. Shivering in dazzling lights, it grew bigger and bigger.
Huh? It's a bit heavier than I... Ah!
Unable to stand and wait, Sorami let the growing shape go, falling to the floor and bottom from the resulting inertia.
Oh shit.
I called it.
I would have loved it if you stopped her then.
I see.
Ouch. I didn't know ostrich meat was this heavy. But I guess this much would surely be enough for...
Sorami noticed the two long legs in front of her face.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Your bad feeling was right on mark. Jackpot, Sorami.
Ah! It's an ostrich!
In front of her eyes, doing an ostrich, like the one she wished for. Not exactly meat, though.
Jeez, why didn't you ask for meat? It's also a good idea to specify the part you want to, you know.
Is this ostrich dead? Ostrich was standing in place, frozen in time. It looked very much alive from a glance, but it refused to move one bit.
No, he's not dead. Though he's not exactly alive either.
Lilith extended her right arm, and with that, a faint reddish spear appeared above her palm.
All living beings on Earth have the power to create others of their own species, be it humans, dogs, or amoebas. Angels, demons, and God, however, also have the power to create those other than themselves, though.
Create other species. Complicated dark thoughts suddenly gnawing at my heart. I saw a glance at Lilith, but she returned it with an innocent smile.
I'm not sure if I understand this correctly. Is this light life or something?
Yep, exactly. If I stuck it inside that ostrich, it would become alive.
Hey, wait. Don't go around creating new lives like that.
I won't, don't worry. I just wanted to show it to her. Sorami?
Sorami took a firm grasp of Lilith's arm. I had a bad feeling about it.
Hey!
Huh?
The reddish spears got swiftly absorbed into the ostrich's motionless body.
The hell are you doing, jackass?
Kugutsu Sorami!
Long live intellectual curiosity!
Sorami seemed to have gotten high from the situation.
I thought this would happen.
Me too. It seemed as though little fires suddenly ignited within the ostrich's lifeless eyes. They proceeded to blink once, then twice.
Wow, it seems awake now. Hello, Mr. Ostrich.
The ostrich considered Sorami's face for a few moments, and, satisfied by what it saw, he used his long neck down and proceeded to rub his head against her right cheek.
Yeah.
Meowing like a cat herself, the ostrich seemed to forget all the worries in the world as Sorami rubbed his neck in response.
Did she just housebreak it?
Now I have to go speak to the breeding department again.
Wait, Sorami. Are you planning to keep this thing?
Huh? I can't?
Both the ostrich and Sorami fixed their gazes on Lilith.
Well, if it's a question of can and cannot, then I guess there is no reason why you couldn't, but
Great! I guess we'll have to think of a name for you now. Buddy.
The ostrich replied with a hearty cool.
I came to explain how to get groceries. And before I knew it, I ended up with an ostrich.
God works in mysterious ways.
We're mostly to blame, though. Well, at least both Sorami and the ostrich seemed happy with the outcome.
Anyway, let's get those groceries already.
Oh, yeah. Ostrich meat.
Are you
Are
serious?
you serious?
Owen couldn't help but
Eh?
inquire. The ostrich added a questioning cool to unison.
What is wrong with this girl?
And so that was how we ended up getting our ostrich pet, Osti. To Sorami's disappointment, we had to relay him to the breeding department, where we found a home in the animal ranch. Feeding it was a job, though. I suppose I should also leave a record that the ostrich shabu shabu we had afterwards was extraordinarily delicious.
You were delicious.
Raziel, your look is creeping me out. And, could you keep your distance from Osti? Get away from him!
And so came tomorrow. Found myself in the gym, trying to come up with a good way to deal with Oshiba Hagane and his possible future-related attacks. Dressed in tracksuits, both Lilith and Raziel were with me.
It's been a while since my last battle. I won't hold back.
And Camael was also around in full combat gear.
You sure you're not overdoing it?
I can't say I'm very happy with the fact you pulled me out of bed this early in the morning.
Don't say that. There are times when I want to kick some ass, too, you know.
Camael gave us an affectionate smile as he said that. He seemed like an angel wouldn't want to get on the bad side of. Still, my future opponent was a complete unknown, so it was necessary to find a strong partner to practice with. And no one could complain about Camael on that point.
Anyway, am I supposed to use this?
An odd object glowed in faint blue in his hands. I could only describe it as an object, yet, as for some reason I could not quite comprehend what it was, no matter how much I tried.
Yep, the name of this thingy is Xenophilius, your affectionate neighbor, a demon by the name of Gussian used it in the past. It has properties that can control the future, so it's perfect for our practice.
Interesting, but kind of creepy at the same time. I can't even tell what this is supposed to be, despite having it in my hand.
Wait a second. I got this theme's user manual from Astaroth.
Liz pulled out a scrap of paper from her pocket.
Maximum effective range of this weapon is about 3 kilometers. In addition, it is possible to adjust its thickness down to 1 micron. It is very easy to use as it automatically pursues the targets its wielder regards as hostile. Harboring endless possibilities within, Xenophilius will keep changing its shape to suit the situation during the fight.
In other words, you use it to smash things, right?
Well, I suppose that's the gist of it.
Camael proceeded to stretch the muscles of his right arm. The way he seemed completely into it unnerved me a little.
Then, shall we? Don't be shy and come at me with everything.
As you wish. Concentrate my energy into my palm. Stuck my hand into the nothingness around me. Grasping the hilt with my fingers, pulled my own weapon out. The sword appeared out of thin air.
Pekati, the sword of 7 deadly sins?
Oh, yeah, it's alright if he uses it, right?
I was looking over it for Uriel, but whatever. There is little point in letting it collect dust in my place. Better if someone capable uses it, I guess. But do you know how it works?
Well, Lilith did briefly explain it to me. Grasping the hilt of sword with both hands, pointed at my opponent. Chilly sensation on the back of my neck told me the real battle was about to start. Letting the air out of my lungs, I instantly closed the distance between us. The blade fell when I directed it, crushing Camael's cranium.
Ah!
No, Xenophilius caught it before he could reach its target. As it made from liquid metal, its flowing blade coiled around my sword. Camael jerked his arm. The Kedi's sword slid out with my hands.
What's wrong? Not gonna catch it?
Before his words could reach me, I was already in full flight towards my weapon. I caught the hilt and glanced downwards. Camael seemed to vacantly stare at me, his arm locked on his chest. Perfect opportunity to try one of the tricks Lilith taught me. Oh, Avatar Gluttony, reveal your form before our eyes! A giant beast representing the sin Gluttony manifested out of thin air, lunging Camael with a fierce roar. Or at least I should have. What? The moment the beast appeared, it was skewed by Xenophilius, had morphed into a lance, probably returned the giant boar back to the nether. Camael leapt into the air, caught the lance in his right hand, descending and gave me a bored look.
I can tell everything you're planning, Tendu Setsuna. I suppose that's what they call predicting the future.
Boredom still coloring his countenance. He readied his lance, but didn't proceed to attack me. When saw me why. Being on defensive works much in favor of one who can predict the future. There's little point in lunging at your opponent when you knew how to move, where to strike. Be it as it may, I could do nothing and stare at him. For we didn't come here to practice the fiery glares, not to mention a stare at me would probably anger Camael greatly. I could predict that much of the future myself. What then was the best course of action in the present moment? Tendo Setsuna, you have 5 seconds to order your thoughts. Analyze the situation. Come up with a solution. Predicting the future. Solution number 1. Leave our speed faster than his predictions can keep up with. Probably a bit of a tall order, but this was practice after all. I should try whatever I could come up with. Have at you! I readied the Kedi's sword and lunged towards him at my full speed. Putting everything into my single fastest attack, I aimed at his chest. But, unsurprisingly, it didn't work. Even the fastest of my movements could not quite exceed that of Camael's reflexes. Xenophilius repelled my attack with most laughable ease, and then proceeded to transform into a whip, striking my jaw with a jagged metal ball on his tip. Gah! I expected a counter, but my still head went blank for a moment. Not caring to pursue, Camael regarded me in silence. If speed didn't work, then maybe numbers would? To predict in the future, you need time to both comprehend the future action and with a way to counter it. If I launch so many actions that overload Camael's mind, then the tables might still be turned. Not yet. Let's see the power of the Kedi's sword. This sword, seeping with magical energy, had the power to summon the avatars of the 7 deadly sins, the 7 beasts. Learning to control its power is also a part of today's exercise. Beast of Gluttony, Golden Sloth! I summoned the beast again, so the molten gold is supported. I was about to summon a third one when rending pain assaulted my heart. But the Kedi's sword had tremendous magical energy. I had to use something known as a catalyst to perform the summoning ritual. I was busy staggering. Xenophilius took care of my summons, transforming into a curtain-like object enveloping them in sight. I had a little magical energy myself. It seemed like 2 beasts was my current limit. Trying to summon a third one would likely make me lose control over my own body.
It won't work. I imagine you plan to go at me with a variety of multiple fast attacks, but I can still predict everything you thought of trying.
Hey Setsuna, summon at least 5 beasts next time.
Lilith, who was safely observing our battle from the sidelines, offered me some very useful advice.
I highly doubt he could do that. With the current stock, he'd probably go full empty by their 4th summon. Not to mention, they'd probably kill him too.
He won't last long in Tokyo Babel if he's unable to exceed his limits.
Not necessarily. Magical energy is just a small supplement to battle. What truly matters is physical strength, technique, decision-making, analytical skills, and, most importantly...
Most importantly, what? I got the fountain down my throat in anticipation of Camael's words.
And most importantly... guts! Your will to go on!
He declared with such passion he could almost see letters of onomatopoeia bang hovering around him. And was at a loss for words. It took me about 10 seconds to comprehend what he just said. Only guts?
Yeah, you don't need anything else.
Are you simple or something? You can't win a fight with only guts.
Lilith begged to differ, and I have to admit, I was with her on this.
Lilith, don't waste your breath. Camael got all crazy about guts ever since he lost that fist fight to Moses.
Did I hear that right?
Shut up! It has nothing to do with that lout. It has nothing to do with how I lost that wrestling nonsense.
Still running from reality, huh?
Camael's face grew as red as his clothes, but eventually, he took a deep breath and relaxed.
Anyway, guts are very important. You'll never lose against your average foe as long as you have some.
But we should need a plan first to...
What are you talking about? Of course you need a plan. I'm talking about what comes after. It's only guts that can lead you to victory if your preparations don't work out.
Oh, so he wasn't preaching a guts-only approach. Thank God.
Not to mention the chorus grows pretty strong past the 2nd stratum. You'll need lots of guts to deal with that.
The chorus?
Didn't they tell you?
It seems I did not. Camael let out an exasperated sigh, shot Lilith an angry look.
It's, I kind of forgot. But I was totally planning to explain it all to him before we set off to the 2nd stratum.
Of course, you fool. I can't believe you haven't told him anything yet.
So, what is this chorus?
It's a song you start hearing once you advance past the 2nd stratum.
A song?
It's a very pleasant song. Maybe calling it a lullaby would make this clear.
I think I understand the gist of it.
Good, then. Yeah, anyway, everyone who's listened to that song for too long has gone mad. It's like a siren song, but probably worse given the circumstances.
A song that violated your mind. Every program that's returned to Pandora Live described it as such, and every one of them couldn't help but crave to hear it again.
Be careful not to get distracted by it during battles past the 2nd stratum. That'd be a very pathetic way to go.
Yeah, I suppose. Good when paying attention to a weird song. It was a pretty sad way to go, indeed.
Everyone who has reached the 4th stratum and beyond ended up bewitched by the chorus, and either went mad or died on the spot. Be careful, alright? And remember, guts!
I shall keep it in mind. I would try to do my best with my guts. A warm smile appearing on Camael's face in response.
Good. Then let's continue. You can't topple someone that can see 10 seconds into the future without guts. So come at me.
Muster my courage. I lunge at Camael. With no plan in mind, I slashed at his neck with all my might. He dodged, of course, but I knew he would. I threw a kick in the direction he slipped to, and he dodged again. Refusing to think about anything else, I continued slashing with my sword, throwing all the techniques I knew at him. Faster. Think about only going faster. I continued to slash. I gave up on summoning any more beasts, for it's meaningless at this point. What is important now is landing a direct hit, however menial. That's all I'll let remain in my mind. I continued slashing as if possessed. His feature reading powers were peerless. I did many a counter, and with each I had to restart my pursuit back from zero. Nonetheless, I relentlessly bombarded him, carefully aiming for his vitals. Taking one with absolute swiftness, I continued to attack, forgetting to breathe.
Not even close.
I sensed slight tension in Camael's voice, but nonetheless, I still couldn't overcome his feature-reading powers. But I was close. Called one of his deadly sins. O night is lust. You shall be my armor against the condemners of sin. The mirror armor knight shouted in front of Camael's wing. The countless shimmering shards scattering in the air reflected my image straight at him. At that moment, my moon suddenly toppled over through his feature seeing. For he was assaulted by countless strikes from the numerous images of myself. It's not something good counter seeing into the future. But among the countless images lunged at him, I could not tell which one was real, in the future or not. Got it! A single hit. He barely grazed him, much less came close to being a fatal strike.
Good. That was certainly a good one.
Camael praised me, a friendly smile on his face.
Hip hip hooray!
Congratulations.
But then Raziel applauded me from below. Oh, thank you. I wasn't used to being praised. Felt kind of embarrassing. I diligently bowed my head to Camael and Raziel to show my appreciation.
Alright. I see you finally got the hang of it. I suppose we should set up a photo. Hit me another 100 times and you'll be ready to go pilgriming.
Roger. Gave him a smile and nodded. Another 100 strikes. Stressing his request indeed, but now at least had a goal. Went berserk, stabbing and slashing it without a second of rest, hoping to outspeed that future seeing of his. I got hit, I got bashed, but I gritted my teeth and endured a terrible pain. I continued my onslaught. So that was what he meant by guts. Mind wandered. So time passed.
Managed to reach 63, but I can see you're at your limit already. Let's continue this tomorrow.
Alright. Unable to withstand that exhaustion any longer, I just slumped down to the ground like a marionette with strings cut. My body hurt all over. My skin felt hot as if it was on fire, yet my innards seemed to be freezing to ice. I had fought him for over 24 hours, but it appeared it was still evening. Either my inner clock was completely off the charts, or there was something wrong with this gym.
Goody. Ben will be off for today.
Sorami should be about finished by now too, though I doubt she could find anything new in a single day at this point.
Hold your horses. Can't just let him go without fixing him up.
I was in the middle of coiling a huge bandage around my mangled arm. But that much would easily heal on its own.
Well, if we use healing magic, we can fix it with an eye, but we have rules here.
Healing was, for the most part, not recommended in Pandora. Since the space of the school was based on the world of average humans, it was usually not a good idea to disrupt its usual physics with magical powers. So both demons and angels would bear with it. Disinfect and apply a bandage, or bandage their wound if they get hurt. Though I imagine they bent through a little if they got seriously incapacitated. They're very good at this. I was kind of impressed, actually.
been doing it a lot.
I don't know what to think of an angel who's been bandaging a lot, frankly.
Leave me alone. I get it.
Camael proceeded to wrap the bandage around my arm in silence until...
Sorry.
What for?
There were a lot of things. They were pushing all the responsibility on you humans.
I'm in no position to talk for others, but he need not mind me. He shook his head, a gentle smile on his face.
I'm not worrying over you. It's just that this is our angel and demon problem, and it's us who should get rid of
He let out a heavy sigh. He seemed to be a man of honor with an overly developed sense of responsibility. I thought telling him was alright. He'll be glad to lay my life down with certain purpose. All I could do was silently gaze at how Camael bandaged my arm. I did not know why I couldn't open my mouth. Maybe there was no reason.
It should be fine.
I bowed my head down to him. Thank you.
Don't worry about it. See you around.
And so he was off. Well, I better start thinking about how to catch up with him tomorrow, as I die before the end of the week.
Oh shit! I forgot to submit our pilgrimage plan to Astaroth. Raziel, could you come with me?
All right.
Setsuna, can you catch Sorami and take her back to our place?
Roger. We split after leaving the gym. Now, where could Sorami be?
Oh, here he is! Hey, Setsuna!
Hopping through the air like a rabbit to catch my attention, Sorami approached me. How was it?
I can't say I found anything new.
Sorami gave an apologetic look. It made her notice the bandage around my arm and narrow her eyes.
Are you alright? You seem hurt.
Yes, but it's nothing severe. It'll heal up by the evening.
I see. Thank goodness. Wounds just don't look right on you.
A good thing or bad?
A good thing, of course. I meant it as in you have an air of invincibility about you.
Visibility. Huh.
Oh? You don't believe me?
I cannot. The world's full of mind-boggling monstrosities that I can hardly contend with.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But, you know, you have to be invincible nonetheless.
Why? Sorami's story glanced at my eyes, let out a jovial snicker.
It's a secret.
Then proceeded to walk down a corridor. I couldn't suppress a smile from up here in my face. I was about to follow after her. And a sudden chill abruptly drilled through me. A fated encounter. The kind of miracle man seldom ever experiences. I have my head in clouds at times, but even I, Kugutsu Sorami, could comprehend the sheer improbability of a force like fate miraculously guiding people to each other. Labeling everything as the work of fate was akin to entrusting all aspects of one life to God, or rather the whimsy of the invisible, unknowable being.
I think
Yeah.
this is me. Take my meeting with Tendo Setsuna, Lilith, and Raziel, for example. While that encounter may have bordered on the miraculous, what truly counted as such was the fact that I had been in the right place at the right time. Our meeting itself was inevitable. Had I not ran across that campus in a panic, I would never have been rescued. Had someone else been in my place, they would have been saved just the same. In other words, that meeting could hardly be labeled as a fated encounter. It was anything but. And so my line of thinking went a bit like this. Such an encounter would only occur once in a person's life. A fated meeting with a person who would entice you in mere seconds. Someone to kindle a flame in your heart. Someone you could readily yield yourself to. Or perhaps a rival. A person who would set your wrath ablaze in mere seconds. Someone to fuel your animosity. Someone you could never find common ground with. On this day, fate would grant such an encounter, not to Kugutsu Sorami, but rather
Adam.
to Tendo Setsuna. The man's eyes shot straight ahead, brimming with confidence. A young woman trailed behind him with a downcast gaze, occasionally stealing a look or two at her companion. I felt overwhelmed by their very presence, though not due to our prior meeting in Gethel's dreamscape. Quite the opposite, in fact. These two were nothing like their counterparts from my dream. It felt almost like comparing fool's gold to the real thing, or gazing into the glitter of scientifically created synthetic diamond. The difference between the insect that crawls upon the earth and the falcon soaring above the high skies. Adam and Eve, they were beings far beyond my comprehension. That much I could understand.
Soundly gulped. My entire being was assaulted by a rare feeling of unrest as I observed the pair making their way down the hallway. Despite my heart rate remaining unaffected, I found it impossible to shake out the waves of unease creeping up on me. Explain when raison d'etre proved essential for life at Tokyo Babel. We need to properly articulate it, to scope their longing to words. Otherwise, it was doomed to failure. Yet the man before me was different. He simply existed. Through that fact alone, he had asserted his very being. It was raison d'etre given flesh. That was Adam. Adam glanced in my direction. It petrifies and sized me out with a colorless gaze.